Well, moving on now, let's bring you the latest as far as the top international story is concerned. As the hunt for the missing plane continues, Malaysian police said they have identified the stolen passport holders, but have said there is no reason to believe these people belong to a terror outfit.
Also going through all the video footage the whole day from the 7th and the 8th at the KLI. We are checking with all our brother officers from other departments. To date, we have uncovered 2 passengers which was traveling on a stolen passport. Okay? And we have identified one of them as, and this one that we have identified is an Iranian.
Well, let's just bring you the latest in this case. The search effort involving at least 34 aircrafts and 40 ships from several countries has been widened to a 100 nautical mile radius from the point the plane vanished from the radar screens between Malaysia and Vietnam early Saturday with no distress signal. Meanwhile, a statement from the airline said the search for the jet has been widened beyond the flight path. The statement added that everything was fine with the B777-200 aircraft that had undergone maintenance. And Maha Siddiqui now joins us from the studio to bring us more details on this unprecedented mystery.
Thanks, Vedika. Now, until clearer information comes to light, here's the summary of what we know and what we don't know about Malaysian Airlines flight MH370. Now, these are the details that we have at the moment for you. The flight path is what we know. The flight took off at 6:30 a.m. The plane was scheduled to arrive, in Beijing at that time. 1:30 a.m. was the time that the contact was lost while it was flying over South China Sea. In fact, what we also don't know at this point in time is exactly how this plane completely lost touch with the ATC, because we do know that at a certain point in time just above the South China Sea, the plane could be seen, and suddenly it was at a phase where it was completely safe and there was really no need for the ATC to panic, but suddenly it went off the radar. What we also do know is that 239 people were on board, out of which 227 were passengers and 12 of them were crew members. 5 passengers were pretty young. They were of an age of less than 5 is also what we know right now. What we don't know is the real identity of some of the passengers, because as you know that it has now been confirmed that there were at least 4 people who were on that flight going on stolen passports. 2 passengers were using stolen passports, which is confirmed, but the identity of 2 more is being confirmed. Stolen passport holders bought tickets in Thailand is what we know, and that one ticket's destination was Frankfurt, the other was Copenhagen. These are also details that are only now trickling in, but what we don't know at this point in time is the identity of the fake passport holders, and that if that could mean terrorism or illegal immigration issues is also uncertain at this point in time, although there are at least a few countries that are probing into this matter. Remember, there are 10 countries that are helping in the efforts, and out of that some of them are now ruling out a possible terror angle. What we know is that stolen passports were in the database. No check was made on them though till the departure. That is also one of the bits of information that we're getting right now, but what we don't know is whether these passports had been used to travel previously. Now, that is also going to be an extremely crucial question that will need to be answered, because the Malaysian side has already admitted that there was perhaps a security lapse on its part. What we do know is that all crew members were Malaysians, and the identity of the pilot and the first officer are also known to the general public. But what we don't know at this point in time is what went in the cockpit when the plane lost contact, and that's the mystery, that the plane suddenly vanished from the radar. What we do know is that, what we also don't know at this point in time is that what went in the cockpit, as I was saying, and why the pilot didn't record that as a problem at that point in time. And what we also do know right now is that 34 planes and 40 ships and crew from about 100 countries are at this point searching for any debris of that flight or the flight itself, because there are still some people who are saying when they are calling up their relatives and their friends that their phones are ringing. So giving them some ray of hope that perhaps there was nothing untoward that happened to the flight as was being suspected. What we also do know is that pieces of debris, oil slicks have been discovered in fact, but authorities are saying that they are not certain whether this debris that has been found was part of MH370. Now we don't know a couple of more aspects, and they are whether the search is concentrating on the right place, and that's the cause of concern now. First, the search was confined to about 50 nautical miles radius. It has now been increased to 100 nautical miles, considering that the authorities also suspect now that the plane might have made a turnaround. So they are looking at other tracks as well now, and the ocean currents will move things around. This also complicates matters, and therefore perhaps they have increased or rather widened the area of search. What we do know right now is that the aircraft model has excellent safety records. Remember, this is Boeing 777-200, and that it has always lived up to its reputation of being an excellent flight. However, nothing wrong could have perhaps happened under ordinary circumstances to that flight. But what we don't know is the cause for the sudden disappearance, and that's what's perplexing everyone. How did it suddenly go off the radar? Whether mechanical failure or whether it was a pilot action or perhaps an act that the pilot inadvertently committed, or whether it was a terror act. All these things remain absolutely uncertain at this point in time. Now we also do know that this is a rare occurrence, but this is certainly not unprecedented. Also that in 2009, Air France, one of the flights from Air France had disappeared. These are things we know at this point in time, but certainly there are a lot other questions that need to be answered at the moment.
Siddiqui, thank you so much for joining us live with those exhaustive details. We also have Vikram Gopinath, news editor, CCTV, joining us live on the phone line from Beijing. Vikram, a lot of people are going ahead, despite the reports that we have, in calling this an unprecedented mystery. What is the Chinese government saying? What is the latest statement coming out from China?
Well, as of now, the Chinese government definitely is urging the Malaysian government and the other authorities involved in the search operations to fasten the operations as soon as possible to ensure and find out where exactly this plane is, because this is a big question. Where exactly is the plane? It's more than about 75 hours, and there's still absolutely no clue about this whole MH370 which left Malaysia in Kuala Lumpur. In fact, just an hour back, the Inspector General of Police in Malaysia and immigration officials held a presser where they clearly said that this could be a case of illegal immigration, but they have not ruled out an act of terrorism as well. They're looking at 4 different possibilities. 1, hijack. 2nd, sabotage. 3rd, physical, emotional problems emotional problems within passengers or crew members. So they're looking at several angles at this point of time. They've also traced one of the nationals who flew on an illegal passport. They traced him back to Iran, but this is what the police officials say from Kuala Lumpur. But the big question is, again, almost 40 vessels involved, 35 aircraft, and still they're figuring out where exactly this plane is at this point of time. In fact, 9 family members of the 9 passengers, in fact, who are traveling have arrived in Kuala Lumpur from Beijing. There is a big team from China which has also gone to give some emotional support and some physical support to the family members and the Malaysian authorities in Kuala Lumpur. So there is a big operation that is going on, but everything will be clear only probably when the debris or probably the flight is found.